You know, my gorgeous Capricorn, what you need to remember that sometimes in this world, sometimes in this life, yes, you can know things. You can be aware of so much about, around you. You can be aware of so much. Your eyes can be open like, oh my God. But that doesn't mean that you kind of need to say to everybody what you know. Because the bottom line is not everyone, possesses or not everyone has this natural awareness, natural power to be aware of like things around you, when it comes to your surroundings, when it comes to your life, when it comes to things that are going on. It's like you do have like a really high level of understanding and like a really high level of awareness, and there is no point to try to explain certain things to people who don't mean anything to you. There is no point to try to like waste your energy, in order to try to explain something to people or to someone who's not going to be able to understand where you are coming from. This means that, roughly at around the beginning of this week, someone is really going to wind you up so much. But what you need to understand is that this is going to happen like completely spontaneously. Maybe you're gonna like kind of start talking about, something completely different. Oh my God, this weather, it's absolutely incredible, blah blah blah, or something like that, some nonsense. You know what I mean? Like when you don't know what to talk to about to certain people, when you don't know what to talk to about to certain people or what to say to certain people, you normally tend to, or everybody normally tend to like kind of talk about silly things. Oh, it's a nice weather, isn't it? Because there is nothing else to say, and it's normally to do with people who we haven't got absolutely anything in common, which is absolutely fine. But I'm just trying to make you aware of the fact that, this is going to be somebody who you haven't really got absolutely anything in common. That's what I'm trying to say. But then at the same time, that person is really going to wind you up like really terribly and really badly, and you're going to kind of like talk about one thing and that particular person is going to talk about another thing. And this is where you need to understand that, it's just basically like a really kind of wasting your energy, and it's like, it's just kind of like, this is why I also mentioned that sometimes you just kind of like a need to keep certain things like within yourself. You don't have to talk about everything that you know, and you need to like differentiate like with things like, for example, like what can you talk about and what you don't want to talk about, because you're naturally very deep, and the things that are on your mind can be very intense, and that does of course reflects in general on your way of thinking. So lots of people like probably would not be able to understand you when it comes to your deepness, of course. But this is something I really need you to understand, and when that happens, the reason why am I talking about all this is number one, try to preserve your energy. Don't argue and don't fight back. And number two, try to walk away and try to change the subject when it comes to that particular person. And maybe perhaps that particular person is somebody who's like your family member, or is somebody who's like extremely close to you. And I did say don't waste your energy on people who don't mean anything to you. But then at the same time, it could be also somebody who it's like like a relative, but you're not as close. For example, it could be like somebody who you know, but you're not as close, you're not too fond of each other, for example. So this is why I just kind of need you to preserve your energy, please. It's just so important. And then on another hand, why am I saying all this to you is like just like at that moment in time when that happens, just like try to kind of preserve your energy, try to kind of shed a positive light on it, like by changing a subject, for example. But when it comes to you, when it comes to yourself, what you need to understand is at that moment in time, just understand your own power. And you need to kind of like really reflect on how powerful you are and be grateful. Be grateful that your spirit, that your soul understands certain things about this life that certain spirits and certain souls are never going to be able to understand. And be happy with yourself, because the reason why am I saying this is something really incredibly like magical. It's actually going to happen to you. I know you're going to say, what magical is going to happen to me? You will see, because it's all about the acknowledging the power within you, the power within yourself. That's what I want you to understand. As soon as, like, so preserve your energy. Don't go like, oh God, what are you talking about? You're stupid and this and that. No, baby, no. Preserve your energy. You just like come on top of it. Shed a light on that situation, like a change of subject. Talk about something else, and then turn around and just acknowledge that power within you and say, thank you, God, you know, that I am the way I am. I understand what I understand, and I'm so grateful for it. The bottom line is, I know that this is going to sound crazy, but you need to acknowledge that power within you, because as long as 3 days after, within the next 3 days, something really incredible it's actually going to happen to you, my gorgeous Capricornius. Something really incredible. A blessing is going to enter your life. Why? Because you acknowledge this power within. And you can easily go that way and argue back. No, baby, no, because you're holding yourself down. By acknowledging this in this particular way, in this particular light, you're also acknowledging how power your spirit is. You're grateful to this. You need to be grateful for this absolutely mind-blowing level of awareness that makes you different to other people. So this is why within the next 3 days, you are going to have a blessing. And this blessing is going to come in the form of a news, in the form of a message. And this is really going to surprise you. It's going to surprise you so much, because you are going to become aware of the option that you could have only dreamed about. Okay, not only you're going to become aware of this mind-blowing option, but also at the same time, there are going to be other things that are going to be attached to these particular options, which are pretty much going to be connected to the pathways, how you're going to get somewhere where you want to get, where you wanted to get in absolute ages. So this is what you need to understand. Acknowledge the power within yourself, and something is going to move, something is going to change, something is going to happen in such a way where at the same time you acknowledge even more power within you. The more you acknowledge, the more you're gonna have, the more grateful you are, the more you're going to have. You know, this is something that you need to understand, because if you're not grateful and if you don't acknowledge things about yourself, naturally you are gonna be stuck, and you are not gonna be able to progress in this life, my gorgeous Capricornius. Indeed, it's like, oh my God, this week it's gonna be a big mama, like a huge mama, like a giant mama. This week it's going to be such a big mama that if the big mama is standing like at the door over here, you know, there would need to be like 10 people to push this big mama to pass through the door. How big this mama it's actually going to, how big this mama it's actually going to be. Please don't get me wrong, I'm just joking. Yeah, don't get me wrong, this is just a joke, okay? So, and because I know that people are really sensitive nowadays, and I always have to make sure, like, you know, when you say things, there are lots of people that are very, very sensitive nowadays. And I don't blame people being sensitive. I don't, because there is so much everything, so much is going on. And you know, in order for us to keep on top of things, yeah, partially we have to pretend, like, you know, in order to stay on top of things, you know, not pretend, but you know, you can't just like keep on being low and keep on being down, because that is eventually going to kind of make you feel really, really scared. And then when you're scared, then this is a very, very useless energy. It's a really useless energy, because it just attracts the worst. It attracts even more of your fears. And just like when you're aware of things that are happening that you don't necessarily like, you know, you just like kind of like really follow your own light. That's what I'm trying to say, my gorgeous Capricornians. Just keep on following your own light, you know. There is so much which is actually going to start making sense this week, indeed. And also, you know, at the beginning of this week, you know, please listen to me very carefully. It's like, oh my God, this week it's going to be so like kind of complex, but in a good way, you know. This is why it took me like about a couple of days extra in order to do this video, my gorgeous Capricornians, because there's so many informations that I have when it comes to you. So at the beginning of this week, you are going to become aware of someone like, oh my God, also like kind of trying to take an advantage of someone. So, okay, it sounds stupid, isn't it? At the beginning of this week, you are going to become aware of somebody who's trying to take an advantage of somebody else. But that somebody else who this person is trying to take an advantage of, it's somebody who you are very fond of and somebody who you really like. And maybe this is someone who you've never known, never met, but you are just going to be able to understand that something really bad and something really negative is going on. So this is either somebody who you don't know, or it's, this is either going to be somebody who you don't know, who you are going to kind of feel connected to. You will like something about that person, you will like something about that vibration, you know, or it's going to be somebody who is indeed in your life. But however, you're not going to be able to ignore this, because this is really going to, oh my God, something is going to take you aback, you know, you're going to be taken aback a little bit when you become aware of like someone trying to take an advantage of someone, and that other person who is having an advantage taken off, like for example, it's to do with a misunderstanding. That other person misunderstood something, and then you're going to become aware of the fact that, you know, not only someone is trying to take an advantage of someone, but also it's a lot to do with an assistance, with an ulterior motive, like really, really horrible. And it's a lot to do with some kind of incorrect advice. And you are going to feel like, oh my God, I need to step in, you know, I need to say something. And you know what? I absolutely scream from the rooftops, you know, like definitely 100%. You need to do this, my gorgeous Capricornians. As soon as you become aware of this, you definitely need to step through. You need to step forward, because at the same time, you know, that particular person is not very stable at the moment. That particular person is having a lot of clouded moments at the moment, and that particular person has lots of problems in terms of things being inconsistent in their lives. So there are lots of problems that other person has who's having an advantage taken of them. And you know what? It's not about that, but it's about like, you know, it's just, this is going to be really, really beautiful, because on one hand, you're doing something divine. You're literally doing something divine, because you will know what to say to this person. You will know what step do you need to make. You will know exactly what you need to do. But you will not understand at that moment in time that it's a lot to do with the divine support. It's a divine support. Listen to me very carefully. You are literally saving somebody's life. You're gonna do something so big. You are literally saving somebody's life, because that other person is not very stable. And whether you will know this, whether you will not know this, but your subconscious mind is going to be like, oh my God, like you're just going to be drawn to this, bless your heart. You're just going to be drawn to this. When you see injustice, you don't like this. I know this for the fact. If you see some kind of injustice, you don't like this. But what you will not understand at that moment in time, it's a lot about the divine support that you're actually creating. And what does that mean? That means that this is going to give you some kind of a comfort, like a really comfort. This is going to give you comfort, and that in itself, it's going to feel very, very natural to you. As soon as you start doing this, as soon as you kind of say something, it's going to feel natural to you, like, oh my God, like what you're going to say and how you're going to take this on, you know. It's going to seem like, so one thing is going to come to you after another. But the most important thing is that this, on one hand, is going to, this interaction, it's going to help you on one hand to make a very important decision, because it's to do with you being indecisive about something so much, you know. It's to do with you being indecisive about making a certain choice, you know, about making a bad choice or making a bad decision. And this is what you're going to be reminded, and this is in itself on one hand going to help you to make a decision through that kind of situation. You will see, I know it sounds crazy, but this is going to be so positive for you, because this is going to come, this is what's going to come out of it. On one hand, you're going to be able to make a decision that you were so indecisive about it's about making a certain choice that you are worried that it's a bad decision, because and number two is, this is all going to happen because somehow you're going to realize that you've been ignoring a certain opportunity. Now this is going to boil down to, all this is going to lead towards you opening your eyes and towards you understanding that somehow you are ignoring a certain opportunity. And you see, when I say, oh my God, this is going to be like so divine, this is going to be divine. That's what I'm saying, because there is a really another beautiful gift for you waiting here through your own gorgeousness and through your own goodness. You see what I mean? You are going to, this is the divine present, you know, the divine gift here. You will know which opportunity you are ignoring, and this is really also on another hand going to like really be so positive for you indeed. And only a couple of days later, my gorgeous Capricornians, only a couple of days later, you're going to notice somebody very special. You're going to notice this very special person, and this special person who you are going to notice, I'm not saying that you haven't noticed that person before, but you're going to notice what an important impact this person has got on your life, which is really beautiful. And that, but as soon as you're kind of aware of that person, it's just going to be such a beautiful emotional moment, but it's also something that's going to happen in terms of you feeling more spiritual. And at that moment in time, you will really kind of make a decision how much you want to like kind of like how you want to bring more balance into your life and focus more on spirituality as much as you possibly can. And also, you know, just a couple of days after that moment in time, my gorgeous Capricornians, you are indeed going to have this idea. And this idea that you are going to have, it's like pretty much so to do with your life, and it's to do with something that's missing in your life so terribly. It's something that it's making you feel so unhappy in your maybe immediate environment. Something just hasn't been working so great for you lately because you felt so maybe uncomfortable within your immediate environment, and lots of things and lots of people started to get on your nerves, you know, and things like that. And this is like pretty much so, it's natural, it's normal. We are changing, we are growing, we are evolving all the time. But this is why you're gonna have this idea, my gorgeous Capricornius, you know, which is going to pretty much so this idea that you're gonna have, it's the next 7 weeks are gonna be all about that particular idea. The next 7 weeks are going to be very interesting, and the next 7 weeks are going to be very different, because that idea, it's a lot about you knowing like, oh my God, it's going to like be like a lot of energy you're going to need to put towards something, but this is going to bring you remarkable results, you know, into your life, because you are going to feel so much happier. And before you would find this such a difficult decision, but now you will know that through all this healing that you've been through lately, this has been preparing you in order for you to feel emotionally stable, to actually kind of see this situation in the very positive light, because this would normally really put you off. Oh, it's going to take too long and things like that. But no, baby, no, this is exactly something that you need to do, because you are going to be so much happier after this moment in time. Just remember, it's to do with things that you've noticed around you that just are making you feel so unhappy. Something is just making you feel so unhappy within your environment. Maybe you don't like where you live, maybe you want to change everything around you, maybe you just want to move on, you know, but you just need to kind of understand that you need to come to terms with the fact that there are a couple of responsibilities that you took over lately. There are a couple of responsibilities, important responsibilities, that are going to slow you down a little bit, but then that's life, do you know what I mean? So there are a couple of responsibilities that you took on lately that are going to slow you down, but then that doesn't matter. You are on the right path indeed. By the time you get to the mid part of this week, my gorgeous Capricornius, you know, you're gonna feel like you're gonna go through something really weird, like, oh God, you know, you're going to go through something really bizarre. You're going to feel maybe little bit down, okay? And that in itself, it's really going to put you in a mode where you're going to feel like you want to cancel certain plans. No, do not do this, okay? This would be like a huge impulsive mistake. So at around the midweek, when you feel like you want to cancel certain plans, do not do this, please, because this would be an impulsive mistake, okay? You need to be smart, you need to be clever. here, because it's only you are really gonna be going through certain difficulties, and somebody's gonna be like a little bit ignorant, somebody's gonna show again like a bit of a lack of understanding, and this in itself, it's going to create a bit of an obstacle, a bit of a problem, a bit of a delay of some kind of a plans. This is to do with your plans, this is to do with the plans that means to you so much, and this is to do with the plans that were on your mind for absolute ages. But all this is going to make you feel, you know what, I had absolutely enough, because someone is really going to kind of drive you nuts here. But then at the same time, you need to stay strong, you need to remain balanced. Okay, this is something that you need to understand. You when that happens, you will empower yourself by, okay, that's fine, I'm just going to keep going, because these plans mean to you so much. You don't want to cancel plans that mean to you so much because of somebody else. Do you know what I mean? This is exactly what is going to happen. Do not make an impulsive mistake, because this in itself, by you not canceling these plans, this is something that is part of your spiritual journey and your soul purpose, okay? So this is why this is going to be so significant. So by you not canceling these plans, you are choosing to empower yourself, and by empowering yourself, you are accepting this life challenge, because this is just going to be a bit of a challenge here indeed, because I can tell you these plans that I'm talking about here are already gonna explode, and they're gonna flourish. They're going to bloom by the end of September 2023. These plans are going to bloom by the end of September 2023, because these plans are going to bring success when it comes to material things in life. But it's also going to bring you really big a victory as well when it comes to stabilities in general. And this is going to make you feel so active and so motivated and so determined again, because this is a lot to do with you doing things that are pretty much so to do with your experience in life, with your passion in life, that are going to lead towards so much positivity, pleasure, happiness, and joy indeed. Absolutely super important, my gorgeous Capricornians. By the time you get to the last part of this week, I like this so much, because you are going to have an important news here, like really big news, a really important news. And this in itself, it's a lot to do with an accomplishment. This is going to be personal to you, this is going to be important to you, but this is also at the same time going to quite surprise you. But when that happens, it's not only about important news, it's not only about you feeling so happy, it's not only about you having this amazing accomplishment. This is something really personal, but you're gonna feel so much better about yourself when you get this. This is really going to elevate you. And that in itself also means that you will know not to make a bad investment. So if it comes to finances and financial things, I wouldn't be making any investments this week whatsoever, just because I'm seeing this bad investment at the end of the week, like a bit of a warning. I would like to spread this for the rest of the week, especially when it comes to you wanting to make a financial investment. Just try to make a week after this one, for example. But going back to this important news about this accomplishment, you will know not to make a bad investment. And this is like, of course, that this is going to be brilliant, because at that moment in time, you know, the more you rely on yourself, the bigger miracle you can expect. Just remember, the more you rely on yourself, the bigger miracle you can actually expect. Stay open-minded, my gorgeous Capricornians. Now it's more important than ever. And also, there is somebody who is going to be like a pretty much so, you're going to be wanting to buy something, or you're going to be wanting to maybe spend a large amount of money on something, or you will want to start something, maybe some kind of a contract. Be very, very careful when your intuition is telling you, you know, no baby, no. You will be dealing with somebody I can describe this person as artistic. You will be dealing with somebody with an artistic temperament. There you go. This is how I can describe this person. So whether you will be wanting to start some kind of contract, whether you will be looking to buy something big, again, be very, very careful and do not ignore your subconscious mind. Do not ignore your intuition whatsoever. You will be dealing with somebody. You will be dealing with somebody who is having an artistic temperament, and you are gonna feel like something is not right here. Something is not right. You are gonna feel like something is just not right, and you're going to feel this doubt. You're going to feel this suspicion here. Indeed. So this in itself, it's more like if you do this, you know, this is all gonna boil down towards you doing a completely useless sacrifice. And then on another hand, you would just lose money, for example, and your time for something which is not really going to happen. But I don't need to tell you this, because your subconscious mind is going to be guiding you when it comes to this. Indeed. Okay, my gorgeous Capricornians, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.